Shri Anuj Dayal, who is the Executive Director of DMRC, Delhi Metro Rail Corporation. And Delhi Metro is the hottest thing in Delhi, and their exemplary project management skills are globally famous. It's an honor to have Anuj on the stage with us. So I will request Anuj to share his experiences on building a smart city in Delhi. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Gupta, the Commissioner of the Chair and other speakers on the dais. I have just 5-6 points which I will make. Delhi Metro has made a major contribution because today we have constructed 190 kilometers. We are constructing another 140 kilometers now in phase 3. And if the fourth phase is approved, it means Delhi will have a network of over 400 kilometers, making it one of the largest in the world. Only London and Beijing, Shanghai would probably match. We came very late. First metro in the world was made in 1863 in London, and London is now 400 and a few kilometers. We started very late. 1998 we started construction, but we have moved very fast. One of the major advantages that we took of coming very late was to go in for the latest type of technology available. So what we are going in now for phase 3 are going to be driverless trains. We will have a situation where trains on line 7, line 8 we call, which are very long lines going without drivers. It's possible to run these trains. And very high frequencies of probably about 90 seconds should be possible. We are going to use satellite signaling for communication between trains. At a lesser level, all the stations have closed-circuit television cameras, which gives one a feeling of safety. And we have been able to catch many people because of these CCTV cameras. We reserved a coach for ladies a few years back. So ladies feel very safe on the Delhi Metro. It's a highly policed metro. It's one of the most policed metros in the world. Nowhere in the world you have such sort of frisking that you have in Delhi Metro. We have 2 police officers on the dais here. It's very different from the type of policing which is done in other metros in the world. In London, even after the bomb blast, they rely more on intelligence rather than physical frisking. Here we have a dedicated force of almost 7,000 CISF personnel with all the gadgetry available. So there is a delay in terms of passenger service because of this frisking, but security is also a concern in our country. That is another reason. So the flip side to that is that definitely there is a lot of safety involved here. Delhi is supposed to be one of the roughest cities with the roughest population and more and more of here. So having such a large police presence definitely makes everybody feel much safer. Accidents, we carry 25 lakh people today on the Delhi Metro. Now, if those 25 lakhs had not been carried by the metro, they would have obviously gone on the roads. And we have saved more than 100 lives if we just compare the numbers of road accidents per day in Delhi, and about 700-800 accidents already in this process. In terms of safer health, Delhi Metro has played a major role. These 25 lakh people, if they had travelled by road, they would have led to carbon emissions because they would have travelled by polluting means of transport, and that would have definitely donated on their health. We are the first railway system to get carbon credits also because of this. And in addition, our trains have something called regenerative braking. Whenever the trains brake, 33% of the energy is recycled into the system, and that also we have converted into carbon credits. Saving energy has become a major issue. It's a major cost factor for us. 40% of our costing is because of energy, and power companies are constantly raising their tariff, whereas we have not raised our tariff for the last 4-5 years. We don't want to be an inefficient company. So we are still making an operating profit, but we are finding it increasingly difficult to continue with this level, to continue to be making an operating profit. The only other option is that ultimately go for subsidies, which we want to try to avoid as a company. Trains are very safe. The signaling system is such that there cannot be a collision between 2 trains. It's not possible for a train to have accidents because of a system called automatic train protection. When the driver is driving the train, If he goes beyond the permissible speed, he will get a warning. If he still continues, he will lose control of the train. The brakes will automatically be applied when the trains are at a certain distance from each other. And there is a further advancement of that for automatic train operation, where the trains are automatically driven on their own. The driver has only a very basic function of opening the doors and closing the doors. There was an incident that you must have read in all the papers. It's one of the lead items in today's news cycles about a train running with open doors, which has happened. It's a very rare occurrence. In Bombay, people travel with open doors. Bombay has a very high casualty figure of every day. So our system yesterday was an aberration. The reason being that there was a faulty alarm which was being displayed on the driver's panel, indicating as if a door is open. He cross-checked, the door was actually closed. So he had to override that system. He overrode the system, which means he came onto a manual system. When he came onto the manual system, he ran the train manually for two stations. Third station, he made the mistake of not pressing the close door button, and the train ran all right for the next station, but with open doors. Luckily, there was no injury to any passengers. The last point I want to make is about construction. Because we started construction in 1998. We started doing barricading. Basic safety precautions have not been followed by our construction industry. Barricading is the bare minimum. Wearing a hard helmet, a hard hat, wearing safety shoes, wearing a high visibility jacket, these are essential when you go abroad. Having safety nets, having a safety harness, these cause deaths. There have been a number of casualties in our system in spite of these, but I'm glad to say now this construction culture is gradually spreading in the country. There is a demand from the public to all the civic agencies to adopt this sort of construction, these sort of construction techniques. So overall, I would say Delhi Metro has definitely helped in having safer cities. We have been consultants to many metros which are coming up. Bombay, the initial reports were prepared by us. Then the report on which the line is currently running, that was modified by Delhi Metro. Otherwise, the line was not exactly on the route which it is planned today. Bangalore is up and running. More lines are underway. Chennai is coming. Pune is being planned. Lucknow is being planned. Cochin is coming up. Ludhiana is taking off a metro. So cities which have high populations, basically they have no other option but to go for a rail-based system, because the carrying capacity is very high of a rail-based system. You can carry up to 90,000 passengers per hour per direction. Whereas in a road-based system, it is carrying capacity is much less. The energy consumption is 1/5 of a road-based system. So for the future, if you want to save city, the metro is one of the most important options which all cities with population of over 3 million will really have to start thinking seriously. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Anuj. I think the safety standards of metro are well known, and you mentioned yesterday perhaps the operation. And I think the Delhi metro has almost transformed Delhi beyond cognition. So thanks for